For thousands of years, we've been telling stories of people with outlandish powers that we could only dream of having. But did you know that there are some real animals with crazy powers that would make even the greatest superheroes jealous? Well, it's true. The world is quite a bizarre place, after all, and animals have had millions of years to perfect their bizarre abilities. So today, I'll be counting down the 10 most incredible animal superpowers on the planet. Some of the first superheroes appeared in Greek and Roman mythology. Perhaps the most famous of these heroes is Hercules. He was half human, half god, which made him pretty strong. But what if I told you there is an insect equivalent to this great hero? Meet the Hercules Beetle. This beetle is indigenous to Central and South America and is the strongest animal in the world. It has the muscle strength to carry over 800 times its own weight. If we were that strong, we would be able to lift a tank. But such strength has its limitations. Because the beetle's relatively small body size, it can realistically only carry about 100 times its own weight, because any more weight would crush the bug, which is why the Hercules Beetle sees itself at number 10 in the countdown. The Himalayas, the Alps, the Rockies, they're among the tallest, steepest mountain chains in the world. To live up there, you'd need some crazy adaptations. But one type of goat uses these mountains as its own personal playground. The goat is called a mountain goat, and it has the power that no other hoofed animal has. It can cling to near vertical rocky surfaces using its special hooves. They have sharp edges and are concave in shape, allowing for incredible clinging abilities. It also helps that the goat can jump 6 feet in the air from a stand. But they're still not the best climbers in the countdown. Later on, we'll meet an animal that can climb straight up surfaces as smooth as glass without the use of suction cups. If surviving in the mountains is tough, then surviving in the freezing cold Antarctic waters must be outright impossible. Or so you'd think. Not much survives down here, but the Weddell seal takes it in stride. The seal can stay warm in the freezing cold thanks to a few anatomical anomalies. For starters, its lungs are huge, allowing it to hold its breath for well over an hour. It also runs a much faster metabolism than humans do because its blood is twice as dense as our own. If you throw in a thick layer of blubber, you easily have the toughest animal down south. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean it isn't there. Just ask a Mantis Shrimp. While there's nothing immediately remarkable about this arthropod, its eyes are alien in appearance, allowing it an incredible sense of sight. Humans have 3 rods and 3 cones in their eyes, allowing them to see red, blue, and green wavelengths. But the Mantis Shrimp has 16 rods and 16 cones. This allows it to see infrared and ultraviolet wavelengths of light that are invisible to our own eyes. It's practically impossible to imagine how a mantis shrimp sees the world, but it still doesn't have the most incredible sensory apparatus. Coming up, we'll see an animal with not 5, but 7 senses. The animal at number 6 in the countdown has a superpower that would make even Spider-Man jealous. Many reptiles and amphibians have to rely on suction cups to climb, making it difficult to scale certain surfaces, but that's not a problem for the gecko. There are around 1,500 species of this unique lizard, distinguished by its very unique feet, covered in microscopic hairs that can adhere to any surface. The hairs are so small that the molecules on them interact with the molecules on the surface, resulting in a force known as van der Waals force. But you didn't come here to learn boring physics. You came to see incredible superpowers, and while the gecko's superpower is incredible, we're only halfway through the countdown. Vultures are pretty repulsive birds, but they do play a vital role in the ecosystem, as they consume the carcasses of newly deceased animals. However, the vulture has a problem. Its food is often riddled with bacteria, parasites, and other yucky stuff that would make most animals very, very sick. But vultures don't get sick. They have extremely powerful stomach acids that can destroy any and all disease-causing bacteria. If a germ makes it through without being annihilated, the vulture's body is completely immune to the negative effects of those bacteria, and its immune system is also much more powerful than our own. The hammerhead shark is probably one of the weirdest looking fish in the sea, but that broad head gives it some pretty incredible superpowers. Like most sharks, the hammerhead has a sixth sense. It can detect tiny electrical signals given off whenever its prey moves a muscle, but the hammerhead's electroreception is much more powerful. It can detect electrical signals as small as half a billionth of a volt, meaning it can detect the charge from a light bulb up to 800 miles away. But that's not the only reason that the hammerhead is number 4 in the countdown. It also has a seventh sense. It has a built-in GPS in its head that allows it to pinpoint its exact location in the ocean. It's impossible to think about what it would be like to perceive the world like a hammerhead shark. But it's a little bit more imaginable than the superpower of some of the animals coming up, which sound like they belong in a science fiction movie. The cuttlefish is a master of disguise, being able to transform its body to blend into any environment. It can change the color and texture of its body by controlling the 10 million color cells on its skin to match the color and texture of its environment, despite the fact that the creature is completely colorblind. We still don't understand why it does this, but that isn't the only trick the little cephalopod has up its metaphorical sleeve. The cuttlefish can alter its skin to not only give epileptic seizures, but also to drop its prey into some sort of trance. Scientists have no idea how this works or why the prey gets hypnotized. On the surface, the axolotl is a cute pink newt-like creature, but if you look a little deeper, it's pretty incredible. While most amphibians can regenerate severed limbs, the axolotl can regenerate its limbs, tail, internal organs, and even its own head. When the axolotl loses a body part, neighboring body parts create undifferentiated cells similar to stem cells that differentiate into bone, muscle, whatever tissue the axolotl needs to regenerate. Scientists are studying the axolotl's regenerative ability to potentially be able to assist amputees and other injured people. But such breakthroughs are currently but a distant dream. But we are a lot closer to emulating the axolotl's strange ability than we are the superpower of the animal at number 1 in our countdown. The number 1 animal superpower in the countdown belongs to the wood frog. It looks normal enough, just like any other frog, but this frog has a superpower unlike any other vertebrate on the planet. For this frog can come back from the dead. It has an interesting way of dealing with harsh winters. It doesn't. The frog allows itself to freeze solid and shuts down its entire metabolism. It may seem dead, but come spring, the wood frog thaws out of its icy covering perfectly fine, without any cell damage from the ice. The whole process still has scientists asking questions, but one thing is for sure, there can be no doubt that the wood frog definitely has the most incredible superpower of any animal on the planet.